Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. Good morning, India. This is coming live from Ganesh Shot and P Guru's. Let's welcome General R. Shankar. General Ravi Shankar, Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you, sir?
Good morning, India, and thanks a lot, Sree, and we are in good nick. Let's begin.
So it's been 12 hours since we last spoke with you. You're seeing now some of the things that the three good generals predicted is actually playing out in the strategy of United States. Sir, congratulations to all three of you. You've had some amazing foresight as to what exactly United States is going to do in the coming weeks. So we can start there, sir. And I know you have a compelling presentation as always. As a request to all of you viewers, please like this video like right now. Thank you so much, sir. Over to you.
Thanks a lot. Let's get the ball going, or let's get the ships rolling, right? This is what I made my thumbnail. It's a Hormuz sonata going on. Actually, 10 ships for Trump. That's what defines day 27. In fact, the point came later to me. I should have captioned it as not as Hormuz sonata, but the Pied Piper of Hormuz. Is he working with his 10 Pakistani ships coming behind him? Okay, but what is the start point of this? Can I have the first video, please? Where it's Captain 10 boats. This is what Trump said yesterday, and that's what prompted me to, yeah.
I told you about a present, right? Steve, can I reveal the present?
You can do anything you want to say.
Thank you. They said to show you the fact that we're real and solid and we're there. We're going to let you have 8 boats of oil. 8 boats. 8 big boats of oil. This was 2 days ago. And they'll sail up tomorrow. That was 3 days ago. And I didn't think much about it. And then I watched the news, and they said, a very good anchor, actually. Happened to be Fox. But I watched it, and he said, something's unusual happening. There are 8 boats that are going right up the middle of the Hormuz Strait. 8 big tankers are going loaded up with oil right through. And I said, well, I guess they were right, and they were real. And I think they were Pakistani flagged.
Yes.
And I said, well, I guess we're dealing with the right people. And actually, they then apologized for something they said, and they said, we're going to send 2 more boats. And it ended up being 10 boats. All right. I hope I haven't screwed up your negotiations, but I thought it was appropriate to say, because I did taunt you the other day by saying they're going to give us a present.
So that's Trump's present. Trump's got a present of 10 boats. At least he claims so. Okay? And that's why that caption of 10 Pakistani boats with Pakistani, I think. The point is, let's get to the actual thing. We'll get back to those boats and all that later. This is the current casualty rates. If you see in Iran, it has gone up, right? Quite a bit. And others also incremental. But Iran is still getting hit. Look, there's a point I want to make here again with the casualties in front of everyone. Whatever Iran is doing at other places comes into focus, into news because of open media and all that. What's happening within Iran by the American forces, we don't know. And they're suffering so many casualties. With the casualties would be a lot of other damage, right? So that's one part of the story in this live tracker which I wanted to put to you. This live tracker is of yesterday evening. The second thing which I wanted to put across to you is, look, all the casualties in this war, all add up, everything killed, I'm not talking of injured, is less than what the Iranian authorities killed in the first week of January. Mercilessly, unarmed people. This is the regime which we are talking of. Right? They might be winning or holding USA at, today militarily. It's only militarily, right? At Strait of Hormuz. But this regime is ruthless to its own people. So many people will say, oh, America has caused irreparable damage to Iran. Is it so? The irreparable damage to Iran has been caused by the IRGC and that gang of theocracy. I want to make that clear first, right? so that we don't get around with the idea that, Iran is some holy cow. It's far from a holy cow, right? And I want your views on that, Sree, before we go ahead.
Sir, I have been watching this mega series called Tehran, Tehran, six letters, and it comes on Apple TV. Those of you who watch OTT, and if you can get subscription anywhere you are to Apple TV, this show alone is worth it because it came a few years ago, General Shankar, and it is so prescient on how things will play out. Sir, it's mind blowing. How can it be that these guys predicted that this is what going to happen to the minutest of detail? That's what I see Tehran show. I haven't finished it. I'm in the third season, but it is so close to what really is playing out here. And that means that the regime has seized power in 1979, but they've never been able to subdue or make everybody sing their tune. To me, it looks like still like a 10 to 20% who are probably aligned in their thinking, because they do have a lot of numbers. But there are many who are not really happy with the way things are in Iran. And they are silent, sir, because the internet is shut off. They have basically turned off internet now. First they had it jammed, now they've turned it off. So you don't really get to see what is going on, and they're still afraid because it doesn't look like the IRGC is tottering at this point of time. So this is where we are in terms of what's happening inside Iran.
Inside Iran, look, I'll be the happiest man if this IRGC regime goes. I'll be very honest. Yeah. I might analyze IRGC positively in terms of their military actions and all. That's a different story, right? I might be critical of USA, but USA is not in any league near Iran. What it's done to its own people. And if you go back to 1979, the slaughter from then to now, the slaughter which they've inflicted on their own people is not funny. You lose track of how many lakhs of people they have killed internally. Get that straight first. Okay? Right. Now let's get ahead with the whole story. We'll get to the today's headlines, because I started today a little differently because it's of the Pied Piper effect of Mr. Trump. Okay, now let's get back to some serious analysis. This was yesterday evening, right? Pakistan gets a seat at the table. By getting Pakistan's importance has artificially been inflated. It's like a balloon which has gone up. We'll see how this goes. I'm sure one of these days it will get deflated. And Pakistan is going to get deflated internally, and we'll talk of it tomorrow evening on Ghana Shot. Okay. And then, of course, there is that war will push US inflation above 4% this year, OECD says. And that's not good news for Americans as a whole, right? Europe is heading for another energy shock. Look, all these have a bearing ultimately on the long-term effects of this war. Okay, Trump delivers new threats, escalating effort to pressure Iran. So all this talk of 10 ships, war and all is part of pressure. We don't know whether actually Iran has given 10 ships or not, or it's a psych ops game. Is it a game to break Iran up internally? And mind you, this whole story of 10 ships and all has been telecast broadly during a cabinet meeting where every one of Trump's cabinet spoke and what they spoke. So there's a heavy lot of high degree of psychological pressure going on, right? But all this has not stopped stocks from falling. Heavy drop, okay? And then again, he's extended the deadline to first week of April or so, right? Then the fact that Iran continues to act as the gatekeeper of Hormuz, that has not gone. So despite what is coming out from the American media, the fundamentals on the ground have not changed. Okay, what does Al Jazeera say? Trump, Iran begging for a deal. I'll show you a clip of that. And Tehran calls US plan one-sided. 15 points given by US, Tehran says it's one-sided, but their 5-point plan is also equally one-sided. So The fact that they have given a response to this 15 point indicates that there is some kind of a, I wouldn't say talks, but, bargain which has started. Where will they leave this, maximalist positions and come to a via media is to be seen, right? Okay. Tehran's tall booth, how Iran picks who lets to go through Strait of Hormuz. We've spoken of this earlier. So this is not good. This is not good that Strait of Hormuz goes under control of Iran internationally. It has never been so. Okay? It can't be that at the end of the war, Iran starts controlling the Strait of Hormuz. We can have an international committee, but it is not Iran's strait. We should be very clear about that. Right. Then, of course, he says Trump extends energy sites attack by 10 days, talks going very well, yeah, all that. Fine. Yeah, here it is. The date is April 6th. We'll see what happens. I'm sure something will break by then. And then, interesting, I'm going to go a little into China before I get back to this. See, what is happening in China? Yesterday, I did a long video of 1.5 hours on China. But you see things, whatever I've said yesterday, those of you who have not seen it, please see it. Take your time, see it in parts. What's happening in China is important for India. That's, to me, the most important thing. Okay. Then what he says, is Russia really shaping up as the biggest winner from the Iran war? That's their analysis. They're worried. And yesterday we spoke about Russia, if you remember, Shreyarji. Right?
Yes.
So they're worried. Yeah. And then, of course, what he says, begging, shaking, and all. But there are other issues. Again, yesterday, what I said, today it finds reflection in South China Morning Post. And what Shreyarji said, that three good generals show, we bring out a lot of points, peripheral issues. It looks peripheral, but when event shift, that becomes central, and we talk of it. Look at this headline. It says, can Donald Trump end his war on Iran in time for rescheduled China trip? It's to be around 15th of May. They're worried. If Trump doesn't go to China, Xi loses face and many more things. Okay. It just goes to prove Xi has got no value compared to other leaders. Please remember, there's a Xi's face at stake. Then this is Yikai. Yikai is one of their leading economic portals. They have given out an interview, and Yikai has said the conflict could turn into prolonged crisis with regional contagion. They're worried about it. Calling on Chinese companies to look past near-term shipping and oil volatility and prepare for potential black swan events. So they're worried about a black swan event descending on them. This was day before yesterday, this tweet by Yikai and article by Yikai. And today morning, this is their article, Demand Shock. China cannot escape the impact of long Iran war, endless ones. See, what I've been saying for a long time, China is an export-driven economy. If their export fail today, they're in trouble. They're in deep, deep, deep trouble. This is the first yesterday that Ikai's tweet, and this indicates that China is worried and the black swan event could fall on China. And what that black swan event is, give it a few more days and I'll start predicting that also. Right. I'd like your views on this. We can take the slide off. I want your views on this business of China and effect on China.
General Shankar, there are talks that China has up to 1 billion barrels stored away here, there, everywhere. I find that number a little difficult to believe. Even the United States, I don't think, even the United States has not had such a big strategic petroleum reserve, even though, see, they stated this as a policy 100 years ago. United States decided that it is sitting on a lot of oil, viewers. US is sitting on a lot of oil, especially off of Pacific coast. They made a decision saying that we will use all the other people's oil before we start taking out our own. And to make sure that they never get blindsided, they have this strategic petroleum reserve. And if you look at all that, US has probably 400 million barrels, but that happened over a period of 70, 80 years. They've been doing this slowly. You got to have the right kind of caverns to keep it, and so on and so forth. And suddenly now we are hearing that China has 1.1 billion. I find that a little hard to believe. I think it is being made up. See, this is the problem. If you are not a democracy, if people don't have free access to data, then you never know, even if it is true, right? So there is another story I'm hearing. Li Cheng is supposed to be the guy who's going to QUENG or something like that. LIQUENG. He's supposed to be the one who's going to.
No, he's the prime minister. We'll see. Let's not get into that at this point of time, because that is in the future, and when it comes, we'll discuss.
I know.
Okay, all these rumors are there. But I'd like you to put up one comment by Rajvi. He said that, I'm sorry, all the points on China the general is quoting is Western analysis. And he's saying as if it's a Chinese view. Yeah?
Hang on, I'm just going through that.
Yeah.
Rajdeep, you said?
Rajvi, at Ravi G, yeah, RAVIJEE.
Oh, okay, Ravi G, got it. Bear with me, viewers. Sir, keep talking, sir. I'll come back.
Yeah. You see, now this person who's watching has said this is a Western view. Okay. And I'd like to dispel that notion. Whatever analysis I do on China is not from the West. Yeah. Can I have the slides back, please?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I have the slides back? Yeah. Look, my dear friend Raviji, or whatever your name is, I think you are fixated in your head. You don't read China, so you are ignorant. I'm being blunt about it. And you come up with some stupid comments like this. Guys, please understand. I have no problem in your criticizing me. No problems. But see what I have put out. This is from South China Morning Post. Okay? This is from South China Morning Post. It is not from New York Times. This Yikai is a Chinese portal. It's their official government portal. Okay? All these news. Okay, this is all Chinese. It's not, it's not Hindi. Or you see in this is a Chinese handle. Yikai is a global portal of China. And this is South China Morning Post. This is not Hindu. This is not Washington Post. So when you foolishly talk and commit that this is a Western-based analysis, I think you're not doing disservice, and you're insinuating P-gurus and gunner shot. And I don't take lightly to it. Mr. Sree Iyer is a very nice man, but I'm a military guy. I'm a ruthless military guy. So if you decide to come and challenge me, I have the full liberty to cut your neck off. As simple as that. Be ready for it. It's a battle. You challenge me, I will challenge you back. Okay, let's get ahead with the story, sir. Right. Yeah. What's happening here? Let me get back after this Chinese sojourn. There are, the Iranians have been attacking. It's not as if they're not attacking. In the past 24 hours, they've carried out attacks in Abu Dhabi, in Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait. And Bahrain has also reported strikes. It's only that their spokesman has not come, but on ground, something is happening. And Benjamin Netanyahu has confirmed that yesterday the Iranian Naval IRGC commander has been killed, right? And he was the one who was responsible for closing the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. And then US forces are continuing to attack targets. So the action on ground is going on. There's nothing which is stopped. Right. I'd like to put this thing. Oh, my thing is gone. Sorry, it has slipped. Let me share the screen again.
Yeah.
No, not this. Not this. Sorry.
Yeah, I got it.
No, not this.
Okay, sorry.
Not this. I have to. I have 1 minute. This has become a little tricky these days. That's how it is.
We are having a lot of videos to go through. Yes.
Yeah. Now put this up, please. Yesterday we had a great discussion as to What will happen if these islands are captured? How will they be revictualized? How will they be patrolled and all that? And lo and behold, this tweet comes out today morning. You see, what we are talking yesterday, what we spoke yesterday was absolutely consistent with the ground. We didn't know this,
Spot
but today
on.
morning,
Spot on.
this is what he says. The US just deployed Robert speedboats to the Gulf, and it's all about time. The Pentagon confirmed for the first time uncrewed drone boats are patrolling the Strait of Hormuz during Operation Epic Fury. And he's described, we left it for some time, right? So the small crafts are already on. It doesn't take only the big craft to come and capture those islands. So there is wherewithal. So what we have said is actually playing out. Okay, I just thought I'll tell you this and highlight it. And of course, Iranians have been claiming that 600 to 800 Americans have been killed and 5,000 wounded and 100 air and ground ambulance deployed in 24 hours and all. This is what the Iranian spokesmen have been saying. Look, when I saw this tweet, I said I must show it to all of you. Why? This resembles Pakistan. Remember Opsindor, Sree ji? They said we have,
Yes.
right, Markae Davas or some stupid operation they call it, and they said we have, killed so many people, we have hit so many people, S-400 gone, so many people died, so many aircraft, whoa. This is the kind of a reaction you get from across the board most Islamic terrorist outfits. Okay, propaganda. And this propaganda will be taken up by within in the Islamic world. And they will tend to believe. See, naturally, if I talk, anyone in India will tend to believe me rather than if someone from outside talks. So this kind of propaganda is going on within the Islamic world, especially in places like Pakistan, especially like Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and all. It enthuses a lot of fools out there to misbehave, and it also gives a halo about Iran. Okay. Oh, this is it. These chaps are not speaking and all. Yeah, they might have had a few more, but I'm sure in USA you can't hide deaths and body bags. Not even one can be hidden. Out of question. If that happens, the next day the chap will be in the Congress shouting away and Senate, and the president's chair will be, if he makes a mistake of the numbers of dead in USA and does it deliberately, I am sure the president will not be the president anymore. He'll be the ex-president. Your views on that?
Sir, there is a protocol on how to receive body bags, sir. The last time when the 6 body bags came back, you saw that Secretary of War was there, Vice President was there, and the President was there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they might do it for everyone, but the President has to actually write or sign a personal letter to the parents of the deceased and that person's role and what happened. And in fact, this is why I was always saying that Trump doesn't want to go to war, because he said in an interview in his first term that I hate signing these letters because I feel they are part of us. See, that feeling, you don't really see that in, the chief executive officers of a country. They say, hey, I have to be above all these things, good for the nation and all that. But there's a human touch to it. I see that in, Trump. We may not like what he says, but what he is doing is much more, effective.
I completely agree with you. Any democracy has the, and the head of a democracy is answerable to the people. He can't just say so many people killed and actually many more are killed. So this propaganda by Iran is malicious. There's no doubt about it. All propaganda is malicious. But we should take Iran for what it is worth. And not what just because it is doing militarily and it has got America into a bind. America is in a bind. That's a different story. But this is a completely different kettle of fish. Look, if you guys understand, I'm trying to focus on something about Iran and the regime's character. There's a difference between what Iran people are, that might be different, but the regime's character. But at some level, please understand, this regime has not come from abroad. It's not come from North Pole. This regime is made out of Iranian people themselves. Okay? So I wouldn't like to whitewash Iran as a state which has done nothing. Iran is the same state which sent proxies. Iran is the same state which supported Hamas to carry out that 27th October, 23 or 24. I'm forgetting it now.
23,
Uh,
23,
23 massacre of Israelis, and that's what has triggered all these set of events, right? It's the same Iran which went and closed the Red Sea. It's the same Iran which has had the Quds force which have killed so many people. So Iran, for all its goodness and everything, and all that, has been a self-destructive nation, and we'll talk of that also, right? But then let's look at the deal. What is Trump talking of? Could I have the second
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Get the record
Come in,
straight,
sir.
because I've been watching the Wall Street Journal's fake news and all these stories that get printed like, oh, I want to make a deal. They are begging to make a deal, not me. They're begging to make a deal. And anybody that saw what was happening over there would understand why they want to make a deal. But they say, oh, we're not talking to them. Anybody would know that. And only a total fool. And they're not fools. They're very smart, actually, in a certain way. And they're great negotiators. I say they're lousy fighters, but they're great negotiators. And they are begging to work out a deal. I don't know if we'll be able to do that. I don't know if we're willing to do that. They should have done that 4 weeks ago. They should have done it 2 years ago. Or they should have done it when we first came into office, because 2 years ago they had free reign under Biden. Sleepy Joe, worst president in the history of our country. What he allowed to happen to our country at the borders, and even with a thing like this. But not just him. Every president for 47 years, every president should have done this. They should have done it a long time ago, because you cannot give lunatics a nuclear weapon, and they would have had a big one.
So this is the deal he's talking of. Whether this deal will come through or not, I will not be able to comment. But the fact is that, yeah, please, we'll have a discussion,
Okay.
and then we'll get back. Okay, here also. Okay, let's finish this and then.
Yeah, this is back to the slideshow. Yeah.
Yeah, back to the slideshow. Yeah. So he says they now have the chance that Iran is to permanently abandon the nuclear ambition and chart a new path forward. If they don't, we are their worst nightmare. In the meantime, we'll keep blowing them away. So he's given a very clear indication that they have to make a deal. Otherwise, this will going to escalate. Your views on all this and your larger idea about it, then we'll get back to the slideshow.
So somehow I feel like there are two objectives that we have defined in Three Good Generals. Again, viewers, you should go back and look at it. The two objectives are, for Israel, Iran cannot have any kind of nukes. And for America, they want to make sure that Iran oil is under their control. Beyond that, I don't think either country wants to occupy Iran or do anything else. As long as the country can work with these two system conditions, things will work forward. So even now, I still have a doubt whether it's going to be boots on the ground or something else that they are planning to do, but it's all like an elaborate process that's being put together to make it sound like this is what's going to happen. I still feel that there is something in their sleeve, card up their sleeve, that they are not playing yet. Maybe we'll figure it out, sir. I don't know. You and the Three Good Generals you were already ahead of the whole thing, looking at the way things are going.
No, we're not ahead of the whole thing. It's just that we are used to it, and we've done these issues. We are generals after all. That's why we are generals, right? And those guys don't have 4 different horns to think. We also think the same way, analyze. That's it. Okay, now let's switch to the next clip, which I want to show you, which is a Fox thing, and it talks of a heart attack situation and all that. Let's listen to the clip and then we'll discuss it.
Just paint the picture as you see it from the UAE, how things are going, what it looks like from your end of the world.
Well, first of all, Brett.
Look, this lady is from UAE. Okay, she's one of UAE's ministers or a representative. So she's not a Western thing. So this lady is giving a UAE view. I'm going to focus a little bit on UAE today. Right? That's why. Hear that.
Sir, I'm starting from the beginning. Hold on. I'm starting from the beginning because the context has been set now. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah, start. It's muted at this point.
Yeah. Hold on, sir. I'm trying to fix it. I'm not able to. Just 1 second. I'll bring it back. 1 second. Yeah, I got
world
it.
economy, including its closure of the Straits of Hormuz.
Yeah, I'll set it straight.
Yes.
Leave it. Just leave it. Leave
Okay.
it.
How things are going, what it looks like from your end of the world.
Well, first of all, Brett, what happens in the Gulf clearly doesn't stay in the Gulf.
See,
So
she's the
Iran's
Minister of
attack
State
on
for
Gulf
UAE.
allies
Okay?
of the United
It's a
States
UAE
and
view.
Jordan is an attack on the entire world and the world economy, including its closure of the Straits of Hormuz. Let's not forget that a fifth of the world's oil and gas goes through the Straits of Hormuz. 30% of its fertilizers for food production and harvest goes through the Straits of Hormuz. Almost every product known to every global supply chain coming from the Gulf goes through the Straits of Hormuz. So effectively, Iran is trying to give the global economy a heart attack. We should not allow Iran, a state sponsor of terrorism, to set the global price for food and gas.
See, she's put certain things in context. I'd like your comments on what she has said because she's from UAE and she's spoken sense. Sree Iyer ji.
Sir, UAE is very much in alignment with what the modern world has to be. I mean, we all should remember that UAE has been a standout in terms of its tolerance, its acceptance, and its role in trying to be, like what I would say is a buzzing center of activity. And for them, this is a huge downer because I'm hearing that their real estate has taken a hit and many other things are also going wrong. So UAE has to bring that parity back. I don't know how big the UAE force is, 5,000 soldiers maybe or something like that.
Yeah.
Not even that.
We don't know. I mean, we don't have to get involved because I don't think UAE will be brought into the fight. UAE at best has to support whatever America does and Israel does. And some of their capabilities might be deployed. I don't think UAE soldiers will be required to do anything. Yeah.
So the way this is looking now is from being allowing United States to come and take off from their bases in these countries, there is a next step being mulled over, whether it is KSA or UAE. Both of them are thinking that we need to do a little bit more than this. So clearly they understand that this is only going to get harder and harder as time progresses. And so they have come out clearly where they stand. I think they were also kind of worried, right? They're all monarchies, whereas Iran is not. It's a theocracy. And they're all worried about that. So over to you, sir.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd request you to put on the next clip. That's also from UAE.
Oh, okay, 1 second, sir. One second.
You learn who your real partners are when the pressure rises. Not in what they say, but in what they do and how they show up. And nowhere that is clearer than in the relationship between the UAE and the United States. Across security, trade, investment, energy, technology, healthcare, education, and much more. Our partnership is one of conviction. It is a partnership of true commitment. Our partnership is not out of convenience. Our partnership is tested in peacetime and proven under fire. And partnerships like this matter now more than ever because our region stands at a crossroads. Two futures are competing for the Middle East. One exports instability. The other one builds industry.
See, this is very important. He says one exports instability, the other builds industry. Right? I'm hereafter I'm going to go step by step. Yeah.
One invests in proxies. The other invests in progress.
So one invests in proxies, the other invests in progress. See how prescient all these things are. And actually, this is what he's describing Iran and what the rest of the Middle East is all about. And it's then very clear as to whom we have to really support or not support. Of course, we will help Iran, but Iran has to leave its proxies and things like that. Yeah.
One seeks to build bombs. The other seeks to build bridges.
So one seeks to build bombs, the other seeks to build bridges. Okay?
And the UAE made its choice a long time ago. We chose openness over isolation, dialogue over discord, commerce over conflict.
Yeah. I want your views on this. I've spoken enough of
Sir,
it.
it feels like I wrote that speech because all, similar sounding, starting with the same letter, and so on and so forth. But he makes a very good point. Viewers, you have to understand the way UAE got carved up. It doesn't have the same kind of oil riches that the neighbors have. So they needed to do something different. And they've been very clear about that for a long time. That's how now they are at a point where they can easily, blend in with the new technology. They are supposed to be, building AI data centers. And in fact, I think if this war had not happened, this would have already happened. That is, some of the Mag 7 companies, that is the Amazon, Apple, and so on, they were going to move their headquarters to Dubai.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I agree with you.
And these are not small things. They're multi-trillion-dollar companies. They'll need such a long checklist to be satisfied before they can even think of doing something like that. So
Yeah.
the UAE has actually created an environment and a place where you can come and be good at what you are, which is running your business, playing out your vision, and not worry about all the other things. Like, for example, what the problems companies are facing in California or Washington State or in the state of New York. Regulation, red tape, all kinds of stuff. So for them, they were planning on doing something. Also, another thing that they have reaffirmed is that they are going to invest $1.4 trillion back into the United States.
I agree with you. Yeah.
So-
but I want to make a point here, a very important point. You see, if you go back in time, and I've seen this happen, I've seen people in my young age, when I was a youngster, going to Gulf and coming back, and they used to describe their state and their how they were treated in the same UAE, and they were not treated well then. I'm going back to about 50 years, half a century back. Okay? Right? I'm talking back of the time, in fact, more than half a century back, when the initial lot of people used to go, and most of them who went to Gulf were from Kerala, or Malappuram, Keralites, who went. Even those people were treated like bonded labor initially. For a long time, they were carpenters, cooks, mechanics, roadside mechanics type, and all, who went there for a future, and they were in inhuman conditions. The same UAE. Why am I making this point? Over a period of the past half a century, they have transformed. They have transformed to the extent that a person like this can come and talk of peace and progress and bridges and all that. Even today, if Iran, everything goes okay, they have another half a century of transformation. But fundamentally, do the people of Iran have this will to change? That will be the one which will, which will be tested at the end of this conflict. This conflict is not about who's winning or losing. That is a minor thing when you talk of things in a human perspective. Will Iran change, or will it remain like this? Because if it remains like this, it's just going to trouble the whole world. It'll trouble itself and it trouble its people. So we are looking at a positive change in Iran. I think we made the point. If you have anything else, please say, or we'll move ahead.
Yeah, let's move ahead, sir. There is
Can
one
I,
more.
yeah, can I have this
yeah.
next slide, please? Yeah. See, this is what Yalda Hakim had put out. I'm now going to the negotiations, Now, Pakistani officials have confirmed that they're relaying messages between US and Iran. No talks. It is a conduit. Talks in Islamabad are not likely, despite what Mr. Trump says, despite what comes out of Iran, despite the fact that people are exchanging strikes, everything. A source tells me talk of negotiations is little more than a smokescreen, despite Donald Trump publicly claiming progress. Assessment: Washington is buying time for US Marine to arrive. Days, not weeks. But we'll see, right? Despite what she says, the Marines will not be there in a hurry. They have not yet come there in a hurry, and it's going to take time because certain battle procedures cannot be compressed. But she's made a very interesting set of points on this. There is negotiations through a relay. So how far this will go, we don't know. So this is going to be long drawn out. And long drawn out, and if that doesn't happen, we might yet see boots on ground. Despite whatever has come out in the American media yesterday. And also, despite whatever I have said about Iran, otherwise, the fact is that IRGC and the Artesh, which is their army, is in control militarily, should not be taken out. They're still strong militarily on ground. They might have taken a lot of hits, but they're there. Now, despite all this, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, yesterday this came out of KSA. See, there's a stated position from UAE, which I put out. But this is the stated position from KSA. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, UAE, Bahrain, and Jordan renew their condemnation in the strongest terms of the blatant Iranian attacks, which constitute a flagrant violation, XYZ, all that. The fact is, they stress in particular the attacks carried out by armed factions loyal to Iran from the Republic of Iraq against a number of countries in the region as well as their facilities in infrastructure. They constitute a breach of international laws X, Y, and Z. So, see, as days go by, the local opinion of people, of countries around Iran is only going against Iran. So, Iran is losing politically. There's no doubt. In fact, if you look at it, at one level, Iran has already lost politically, hugely. China can't afford help them. Russia can't help them. No one is prepared to help them. So even if that rump regime comes up and starts governing this, it's got no political support. It's not got any economic support. Sooner or later, politically, Iran has to make a deal. And to that extent, I think America is playing a smart game. Okay, we spoke of this. Now let me turn to the domestic situation a bit. Few points I want to highlight, then we'll take some questions. This was what yesterday our Chief Minister of J&K has put out, right? He's very clearly said, my earnest request to you, stop camping outside petrol pumps. Otherwise, I will shut all petrol pumps for the next few days. He's fed up. He says there's enough petrol in the country. There's enough gas in the country. Things will stabilize. Things will happen. Okay? So, there's no need to panic. There were some states within people were lined up outside a petrol pump and all that. And just for testing yesterday, I went around, when I went for my walk and came back, I saw all the petrol pumps. There's no problem at all. Even gas in Chennai, when I went, one of my cylinders got finished off. He said, sir, when did you last book? I said about 2 months back. He said, he gave me a number. He said, give a missed call. It will get automatically booked and everything will happen automatically. Yesterday, I was trying to inquire when will it come because it was a week. Sure enough, the thing has come. Your bill has been generated. You will get a cylinder in a day. Things are happening. If you let our government function, it will function. If our people don't let the government function, it will not function. We panic, things will go bad. I just wanted to put this thing across. Things are not bad in this country. In fact, they're the best in this country compared to the rest. Look at Philippines, it's gone under. Look at the things which are coming out of China, supposed to be a superpower. I showed you 3. They're worried. We are not worried. There's some small problems. We'll sort it out. We are stronger people than all that. Okay. What's more, this is the chairman of Lulu Group, what is Lulu Group? Everyone knows what's Lulu Group. Go to Dubai, you'll know what Lulu Group is. The owner of Lulu Group comes and meets our Prime Minister. This is what he put, Yusuf Ali. He says, thankful to Sri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Prime Minister, for continued support in ensuring uninterrupted food supplies from India to the GCC. Very important. Remember, Annadata. India is the only sole food provider for this region, including Iran. Iran also takes rice from us. That's the centrality of India to all these people. Incidentally, you will soon see shortages in Pakistan if this continues. Why? All food from which Pakistan consumes goes through India, goes through Dubai to them. Indian food to Dubai to Pakistan repackaged. Okay, even Pakistan depends on us. Please understand where we are. And I'd like you to play this last.
I'll play this one, sir. I'll play this one.
By the way, before I forget, I just wanted to make this point. I don't know if you're aware of it or not.
Go for it.
But Lloyd's of London has done more to shut down the Straits of Hormuz than anybody.
Yeah, but insurance cutting.
Yes. And here's something to keep in mind. The Japanese and the Chinese don't give a damn about Lloyd's of London. They're insuring their own vessels. They've set up their own strategic insurance framework. India needs to do the same. Why are you bothering with Lloyd's of London? Do you really think anybody in London is terribly concerned about the plight of the Indian farmer or anything else? It's a mystery to me that at this late point in Indian history, that you would pay any attention to Lloyd's of London. So that's one of the first things I do. Put an end to that once and for all.
Yeah.
Anyhow, just a thought.
Thank you. Look, the interesting thing which this chap has pointed out is, I'll get to this. I'd like to highlight what that chap said. As the interesting
Colonel.
thing is, why are you depending on Lloyd's for insurance? See, someone has said, oh, he's McGregor, he can't be trusted. Yeah, no one can be trusted. Okay, even I can't be trusted. But don't look at whether he's trustworthy or not. Look at the point he's making.
Correct.
The point he's making is, why are you looking at Lloyd's? Lloyd's is only an insurance firm for shipping. Why are you going there to do it? Why don't you do up your own thing? And that's very sensible, because if India wants to be counted, you need to have your own insurance framework. And it's not impossible. And that insurance framework is something which you can regulate and hold. And why are you still hanging on to what the stupid UK has to do? If Lloyd's is there, there is a view that it's thanks to Lloyd's and their increase in the insurance rates that Strait of Hormuz was closed. Right? If the insurance was a little lower premiums, maybe they would have come in. Maybe it wouldn't have been closed. Maybe all this natak wouldn't have happened. Okay. Yeah. The last slide, sir. After this, I'm open. This is a very interesting thing. This has been put out by Ashwini Vaishnav, our minister. Where is he? He is in Netherlands. What's he doing? He's talking to ASML. What does ASML do? Advanced lithography machines. Why is he there? He's having discussions on how ASML can support Indian semiconductor mission. Okay, he's gone, briefed them about what is happening in India, and he said, please come and set up shop here and teach us how to do low-end lithography or whatever it is, whatever's AVX. We don't want the highest end, we want the lowest this thing. So then finally he says, ASML is actively looking for partnering with Indian companies. Their team will be visiting various semiconductor units XYZ. Why have I put this out? This is the second time he's going to Netherlands. When the rest of the world is busy fighting oil, and all that, despite whatever is happening in this situation, we are still going, our focus is somewhere else. And I'm glad that our government has got the vision to say, okay, whoever has to deal with that will deal, the rest will deal with progress. Right? I think that's a damn good thing. And I've done for the day. Your views on this, sir, and then we can take some questions or wherever you want to. Any points which you want to highlight, we must.
ASML, their business is getting hurt because I think about 20 to 25% of their business was in China. Even under Biden administration, they decided to shut down a whole bunch of stuff. And ASML, all semiconductor equipment manufacturers, they all took a huge hit. And that is pent-up demand, and India can certainly fulfill it. But my humble opinion, General Shankar, is that India has a lot of catching up to do in making chips. And it's going to take time, and it's going to take what I would call as top-notch talent. And that talent exists in the United States. But somewhere the people in the United States who may be able to come and work for 5 years, 10 years, something needs to be done to make them feel like, okay, this is not the India that we used to live with. It's kind of written in the ROM of the brains. I don't feel that way. I feel totally different. I feel like India is moving faster than United States in many things. To be honest with you, India is moving fast. Look at the way they have adapted to UPI. India, US, we still do cash. General Shankar, we still do cash. So this is what my concern is. But I think a beginning has been made. You have to make a beginning somewhere. There is a little bit more that needs to be done. The government needs to be listening to. Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
I agree with you. Let me tell everyone. I'll recount experience. A couple of years back, Sree Iyerji when we first met in India, not that we had met this thing. He said, "Look, let's do a recording." So he gave me a address for recording in a place called Ashok Nagar here. I said, "Okay, I'll reach there." So I reached there with my car and all, and I was parked and I was waiting. I couldn't find out where the place was. And then I was waiting. Then I called him. I said, "Look, where are you? You're supposed to come here." So he said, "Look, I'm en route." So I thought Sree Iyer will come in a cab or something like that. And he had just got off a flight from Coimbatore and, So suddenly I found him on the pavement, with a sling bag and looking around. So I said, "Hey, how are you? All that, fine." Then we identified where that studios went in. I said, "I thought, how did you come?" He said, "I went on the metro." So he got into a metro at the airport, came out in Ashok Nagar on the metro, and 5 minutes walk to that studio and you're in. Why am I telling this? Things are changing in India at pace. At pace. You go to any big city today, there's a metro.
Yeah.
And and I've seen the explosion of metro in Chennai itself. I'm giving you you go to Delhi, it has exploded far more. Okay. 8 years back when I came here, there was the first metro was being constructed next to my house. Today there are 8 metro lines which are being constructed in Chennai. I'm sure in the next 3 years, one is at the end of my house. Once these 8 lines are constructed, plus the existing 2 lines which are there, there'll be a grid in Chennai where you can go anywhere, anytime. Infrastructure is changing at pace. Of course, there is a problem that in India, whatever infrastructure you made, the people will overtake it, right? And things also will take time. It's not going to happen in a hurry. This change which Mr. Sree Iyer is talking of, that that we need to do top class things, get top class talent, they'll come. Be patient. We should not go the China way. We should do it the Indian way. Back to you, sir, and take it forward.
Thank you so much. And I always use the metro wherever I can, whichever city it is. If there is metro available, I always figure it out. And then the last mile I'll do with it, even with an auto, it doesn't matter. Because the big bulk is the 20-25 miles through traffic. That's what kills you, especially if you're on a time-bound situation. Like General Shankar was 15-20 minutes ahead of me. And I'm like sweating. Oh my God, the good general is waiting in the car. So these are all important things. Take away if you want to get things done quickly in India these days, metros are the way to go. Sir, let's take some questions now. Deepak Stokes, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. I think he may have become a YouTube member. Yeah, I think he has become a YouTube member twice. It's come. Maybe he became twice a YouTube member. Yeah.
No, it must be in your channel only because you're putting it straight and the other one, no? So it will come twice. That's okay.
Sir, go ahead and answer this question while I start looking for more questions.
Why is US not treating Pak on par with Iran on nukes? Look, it was USA which helped Pakistan develop its own nukes, and it is USA which still has control on Pak nukes at some level. So, Pakistan is a useful tool. Pakistan is a controllable tool compared to Iran. So, USA will never treat Pakistan on par with Iran. See, even now, Pakistan is the pliable tool. Pakistan was the pliable tool against India. Pakistan is the pliable tool against India. Pakistan is the conduit for USA into China. Pakistan is the battleground against China. Pakistan serves a lot of purposes. Okay? Pakistan is like, use Pakistan any way you want. Okay? It will bend. So Pakistan is a very useful tool for USA. And we'll talk of Pakistan, where Pakistan is. But there's a slight change from what Pakistan was earlier and what Pakistan is today. You see, if you go back to the time of Ziaul Haq, or for that matter, Pervez Musharraf, both were in a position to demand money from USA. And they got ton loads of it. Bucket loads, non-stop. Right? But today, that situation has changed. America is using Pakistan. Pakistan is running to USA. Okay? Saying, help us out. We want to be with you. We have got stuck with China. We want to get off China. We want to be with you. They'll not say we're going to get off China, but they will come this side. Okay? There's no doubt. And Pakistan is prepared to do anything which USA wants. And USA is not giving them money. So far, USA is not giving them money. USA is saying, Achha, you work. If you are a little dog, I'll give you a morsel. And we'll see where it goes. Yeah.
Next question from Vignesh. How will Iran deal with the immense geopolitical isolation after this war? They have made enemies from all sides.
I completely agree with you. They have a problem. This government, whichever comes, if without some political support from outside, either from UAE or Saudis, even Saudis will have to help them, or USA or India and India. I will put and. One of these big powers has to help them. Big outside powers or regional powers. Otherwise, they'll collapse. They'll go into anarchy. Because their infrastructure is gone, their military infrastructure is gone, a whole lot of things is gone. And it's a divided society. So there's going to have problems. Yes, next.
Mahoraga wants to know, sir, we have seen in recent wars that targeting civilian critical infrastructure is normalized. How likely is it that Pakistan target Jamnagar, Gift City during conflict for their survival war?
I don't think they have the guts to do it. See, targeting infrastructure is a matter of guts. Okay. They might target Gift City and Jamnagar, but that doesn't matter much to India. Okay? It doesn't matter much to India. I'm being very cold when I say this. I know people of Gujarat will get hit badly. They'll suffer. But that's okay. India will make them recover. But what happens if you return the favor to them? What happens if you finish off Karachi? That's the end of their story. Complete. Okay. Complete. And their capability to hit all these places is far lesser than our capability to hit them. We saw that in Opsindur. That will be the end of Pakistan if they do all this nonsense. Yeah.
Is a heavy US focus on Iran drawing enough resources away from the Pacific or Eastern Europe to allow China or Russia to advance their own strategic objectives like Taiwan?
No. What has shifted from the Pacific Command to the Central Command? USS Tripoli and one carrier group. There's one carrier group still there. They've left it. That's all. They've not drawn any resources away from there. So to think that this focus is here, yes, certain amount of ammunition has been spent. But they've also carried out their assessment, US, before doing all this. See, we are looking at it as if US military planners are fools. They don't know what they're doing. They would, like I said yesterday, and today morning also I said, everywhere military planners first and foremost seek balance. There's an old military adage, one leg on the ground. You move forward in a battlefield with one leg on the ground. You don't put both legs on the ground and move forward. You can't. You'll fall on your ass. The one leg on the ground is always important. And that is the fundamental of fire and move. You move, someone fires. That chap moves, you fire. One leg on the ground always. Cover the move. Same here. They wouldn't have moved here without having that leg on the ground. And part of that leg on the ground at that level is taking into account what's China's capability to wage a war. It's not, look at it. China doesn't have the military capability to wage a war today. They don't have the generals. Their equipment is misfiring all over. Okay, there is internal problems. Right? Can Xi Jinping go to war? No. And what you see, and yesterday also I spoke long on this only, I'm repeating it. Okay, Xi Jinping is worried that Trump won't come to China. That's his status. But a war chodo yaar. He wants Trump to come. Only then his position is stable. Why? The Chinese discourse will be, look, in front of what's happening in Middle East, China is nothing, Xi Jinping is nothing. This will be the discourse in China. You have to understand how Chinese think and behave. When that fellow is worried why Trump will come or not, you think he'll go to war? So if he is not going to war, then you can take resources away from there and put it here. This is planning. This is how strategic planning is done. Okay, I hope I've answered this conclusively.
Yes, sir. Reports coming out of Iran that children 12 and above are being inducted into Basij to man checkpoints and to fight the enemy, etc.
That's their choice. Yeah. What can you do?
Yeah.
That's their country.
Yes, indeed. And that brings us to a close of today's program. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to whichever channel that you are watching it, either Ganashot or P Gurus. We'll be back again. Good morning, India, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Sir, tomorrow is not possible, right? Because you have...
No, tomorrow, Saturday, yeah. I have with Sandeep Unuthan, yeah.
Yeah, so tomorrow we'll not be able to make it, but Sunday
Sunday.
we'll be back. Thank you, sir. Namaskar.